Hi, I'm Suzanne Alioto, a contact teacher and high school specialist with IDEA Homeschool.
And I'm Lindsay Pinkelman, school counselor.
We are here today because college and career fairs are coming right up, and we wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to navigate a college and career fair with your homeschooled student.
Yeah, depending on your region that you attend an event like this, there could be a lot of admissions officers present and it can feel really overwhelming, or there can be a few and it can feel really intimate. But regardless of the setting, there are a few things that you should know going into it. And I would say when you and your student approach a table, definitely giving a general introduction about yourself and a really great welcome message to make that first impression, because more than likely, the people at the table are going to be the admissions representatives for our region, which is Alaska. Many colleges have specific admissions officers that are strictly communicating with students from particular states. So if they're up here, more than likely that is your admissions officer, but clarifying that might also be a good place to start. Focusing on Alaska, one of the biggest questions you can ask is about WUI. And WUI is a Western undergraduate exchange program where students from the state of Alaska can attend any one of the 13 states in the Western region for around the cost of their state's in-state tuition. What is important to ask about that specific opportunity are what degree programs fall under that opportunity, and also whether it's a separate application from the general admissions application. Some schools just automatically give it, and others put it as an academic-based scholarship, and they award that specific opportunity based on GPA and test scores. So clarifying that with your admissions officer might be a really good thing to do. Speaking of money, the other question that might be really helpful to ask is about scholarships. Sometimes schools take your general application and use that to award privately funded scholarships and academic scholarships for their institution. Other schools use a separate scholarship application through the financial aid office, and that is something that you can do regardless of whether or not you're accepted. Because they're present in front of you and you have the opportunity to ask millions of questions if you want, focusing on really impactful questions that you really can't get from the website. And so one of those is focusing on what kind of a campus culture there is there. Remember, these guys are really passionate about who they're representing. And so they're going to give you all of the details about their school, including their clubs and activities and sports and things you can do outside of academics. So really focusing in on that might also be a great way to really understand what goes on in that particular campus life. Use your resources around you and be able to gain as much knowledge as possible. So when you get to the part of applying, you have really great options with really impactful information. And Suzanne, I think you've had the opportunity of attending one of these events. And so I'm just curious what your experience is like.
Yeah, I've gone to several with my own children, and it's a very exciting, fun thing to go visit with your high school student. I actually started going when my son was a sophomore, which was very early, but it was a really good way for him to have a chance to be able to just ask so many of those questions that you already touched on, Lindsay. Like before we went though, I would make sure to have discussions with my kids. I would ask them, make sure that you know what's important to you. Are you only interested in the majors? Do you want to know also like what activities, what groups and clubs that they offer? Things that are very, important to each person. I just wanted to make sure that my kids felt comfortable to ask the recruiters. I also encouraged my kids to dress nicely, even though these are recruiters, you're also making a very first impression. And I think that that's important to do in any circumstance. I encourage my children to be confident, to speak clearly, and to shake hands with the recruiters. As we are an all-state program, each region has lots of different opportunities for career fairs. And so down where I am, it's a smaller region. And so there are a lot of colleges and career groups. There's military, there's different job recruiters, college recruiters. So I would have my kids make pre-printed stickers with their names and their email address and their phone numbers. So we didn't have to sit there and write everything out by hand. I know in some of the bigger regions, there are pre-registration links that you can go ahead and sign up for, and you're going to get a barcode issued to you, and you can the recruiters can just scan it for you. So I would just encourage you to check out our website to make sure what kind of fair you're being offered. I also encouraged my children not to go in with any preconceived notions of what they thought that they might want or most definitely wanted to do. I wanted them to go in with an open mind. I mean, what if they met with a college recruiter or a career recruiter and that sounded so much better than what they thought that they wanted. So I did just encourage them, go in with an open mind, go talk to everybody, make yourself available. They're available for you to go and ask as many questions as you want. And so that's was another big thing that I had my kids do.
That was a really good advice from somebody who's been at those events. And I definitely thank you for sharing that. If you plan on attending one of these events, just check our website for one that's upcoming in your region.
Thank you so much for attending our tips and tricks with IDEA Homeschool on how to navigate a college and career fair with your homeschooled student.